Good morning, JMB. Today is Wednesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. I'm Catherine Smoot. Welcome to Spirit Week, JMB. Today is Clippers Choose Love Day. Tomorrow is Generations Day. Freshmen will be babies, sophomores will be teens, juniors will be middle age, and seniors will be senior citizens. Art club will be after school today in Mrs. Reiser's room. There will be a meeting for all students trying out for baseball on Wednesday, February 21st at 2:55 in the cafeteria. Face painting will be available during all 3 lunch shifts in celebration of this special day. Tables will be set up outside of the lunchroom, so be sure to swing by. And now, here is Mrs. Eskridge with information on the updated Code of Conduct.
Good morning, Clippers. This is Mrs. Eskridge. I'm here with you for an update of our classes here at JMB. Students, we have a new code of conduct which we sent out to each parent via Parent Link. It is the Maryland State Code of Discipline. I wanted to share with you some of our numbers here at JMB for the school year so you know where we stand. Currently, we have 1,680 office referrals. Out of those 1,680 office referrals, we actually have 375 Bennett Clippers that make up those. So I would like to send a shout out to those 1,177 students who have not received a referral this year. For those of you that have, we need to work on this during the second half of the year. Please note, we have had 136 students that earned straight A's during term 2. We also had 496 students that earned a 3.5 or above in term 2. Unfortunately, we had 359 students who earned a 2.0 or below. Those of you that earned a 2.0 or below know that you now do not qualify for extracurricular events, including anything that extends beyond the regular school day. Our focus is to get you back on track. Number 1, we want to make sure that you're aware of the offerings that we have for academics, and those are to sign up for tutoring. We have tutoring every day of the week, and if you need that schedule, you can stop by our guidance office or check it out online. Secondly, we have room in our Step Up program. If you are interested in arriving or coming to Step Up, please see Mr. Binns in the office as he can get you information on that. And also, we want you to be able to get involved in the clubs and the sporting teams that we have. But please note that you must have a 2.0. Students, we are going to watch a short video related to the Maryland Code of Guidelines. Please note that this video will focus on restorative practices, the Code of Conduct, and PBIS. Thank you, and let's make wise decisions during terms 3 and 4.
The Wacomico County Public School System has adopted a uniform code of conduct to assist in providing a safe and orderly school environment conducive to learning for all students. The Code of Conduct for Wacomico County Public Schools applies to all school environments. This includes classrooms, hallways, sporting events, school clubs, field trips, and school-related transportation. Our schools are the safest and most successful when everyone collaborates, values and respects each other's roles, and is invested in common-sense school discipline practices. When unacceptable behavior occurs, the Code of Conduct supports the application of progressive discipline to modify unacceptable behavior in a positive manner to improve academic success for all students. Administrators have the authority and the responsibility to apply the Code of Conduct. In response to student misbehavior, the lowest level of interventions will be used first, followed by progressively more intensive consequences. Different consequences can be used by the administrator. These are the 5 levels of response. Now, here's Mr. Rick Briggs to explain the rest of them.
There are 5 levels of response to address unacceptable behaviors that do not assist in promoting a positive learning environment for all students. It is important to note that many behaviors fit in multiple levels, as do appropriate responses to these behaviors. First, we have level 1, which are classroom, support, and teacher-led responses. Examples of some possible level 1 responses include a verbal warning, parent phone call home, or an after-school detention. Examples of consequences that these responses would be appropriate for are minor classroom disruptions and dress code violations. Level 2 are teacher-led and administrative supported responses. Some possible Level 2 responses include a behavior contract, temporary removal from class, or loss of privileges. Some examples of consequences that these responses would be appropriate for are being insubordinate and persistent disruptions to the learning environment. For Level 3, we have administrative supported and removal responses. Examples of some possible Level 3 responses include a parent conference with an administrator, referral to student services team, or an in-school intervention. Examples of consequences that these responses would be appropriate for are destruction of property and persistent disrespect and defiance of authority. Level 4 are administrative supported and short-term out-of-school exclusionary responses. Examples of some possible Level 4 responses include in-school suspension or short-term out-of-school suspension. Examples of consequences that these responses would be appropriate for are bullying and possessions of drugs or other controlled substances. And finally, we have Level 5, long-term administrative supported and out-of-school exclusionary and referral responses. Examples of some possible Level 5 responses include a referral to alternative education, long-term out-of-school suspension, or possibly expulsion. And examples of consequences that these responses would be appropriate for are intentionally engaging in a fight and assaulting a staff member. A friendly reminder that the purpose of consequences is to help in modifying the negative behaviors that are adversely impacting the learning environment of all students.
As a school system, it is our mission to point students in a positive direction. For those reasons, we've implemented a positive behavior intervention and support system. This system is meant to support students in choosing the correct paths. But sometimes things happen. When those things happen, relationships can be damaged. That was when restorative practices will be used. So first, let's learn about restorative practices. Here's Mr. Andy Turner with more.
Restorative practices is our way of trying to get kids to understand the impact that they have on their environment by what they say and what they do. And through that, we're hoping to promote healthy relationships to build our stronger community, and also by building the capacity to respond to inappropriate behaviors positively.
With PBIS, students are rewarded for doing the right thing in the classroom, in the hallways, in the cafeteria, in the media center. And so what ends up happening is that students who might struggle with behaviors see that, wait a minute, if I do the right thing, then I get to participate in these activities. They're like team building activities. A lot of our schools do very innovative things that don't cost any money, like an extra recess. What kid wouldn't like an extra recess for doing the right thing?
If a student is accused of breaking a part of the code of conduct, the students are entitled to a due process. The student will be informed of the allegations and evidence against them. The students will be provided with an opportunity to respond and present evidence. Once evidence has been reviewed by an administrator, a determination regarding disciplinary action is made. However, if parents or students still have concerns, these must be brought to the school principal. If unable to be resolved at the school level, the next person to contact is the director of secondary. If concerns are brought to a director or assistant superintendent without a conversation with the principal, these concerns will be directed back to the school level for first address. Now, let's hear from our Director of Secondary Education, Mr. Micah Stauffer.
A uniform code of conduct provides a consistent set of expectations for the behavior of all students. And the consistent implementation of that code of conduct ensures that our schools are safe and our classroom environments are conducive to learning. It's important that our students know what's expected of them and that we all work collaboratively together to ensure that students have the opportunity to learn in an environment that's safe and supportive.
So what questions do you have for us? I hope that we have been able to answer some of your concerns, and we will work on getting answers for anything that remains unanswered. please ask any administrator or email us at jmb@wcboe.org. As we close this session, let us hear from our superintendent, Dr. Donna Hanlon.
In Wicomico County Public Schools, we are committed to safe schools, an environment where all students can excel in their learning. In fact, we focus on this commitment in our second vision point, where we describe our aspiration to be a public school system committed to safe schools, created through a careful balance of clearly communicated and enforced expectations and an atmosphere where students know that teachers and administrators believe in them. We operationalize this commitment through our Code of Conduct and other initiatives designed to achieve this aspiration of safe schools, such as restorative practices and positive behavior interventions and supports. As we continue to consistently enforce our Code of Conduct, it's important to remember that should you have concerns about disciplinary matters, there's a process through which you can share those concerns. Your school administrators have the greatest knowledge of their students and events that occur in schools. So it's best to start by sharing your concerns at the school level. However, there are also channels of communication beyond the school level at the central offices of Wicomico County Public Schools. The expert staff in our Student Services Department can assist you in working through your concerns. Finally, my door is always open to meeting with parents and students. In fact, I hold a monthly Superintendent's Open Door on the third Wednesday of every month. And I'm happy to listen and work with you to make sure that students are treated fairly, and most of all, to find solutions to ensure their success in school. Students, thank you for doing your part to ensure that our schools are safe and that your school climate is positive and a great place for you to learn. And parents, thank you for reinforcing the expectations that your children come to school to learn and that they understand the Code of Conduct and the importance of an orderly school environment. Most of all, thank you for being our partner in ensuring that your children have every opportunity to excel in their learning for a very bright future.
Thank you. Now, students, before we leave today, we found some advice for you on how to be successful in second semester.
Like, no flexing. My grandma used to tell me, go to school, get your grades. Yeah. Get your grade, 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 get your grade.